I just found something concerning when removing dirt here, and that's grease and dirt. And then I found this. This looks like a cover that is not in place here. So basically I'll have to undo this the steering box assembly to be able to assemble back this cover, or at least look at what's going on there in that area. So that's the part I'll have to remove in order to get access to that cap here that I suspect may have let all the oil getting out of this gearbox. I didn't check the gearbox oil level yet, but I suspect for the amount of oil that I can find there, that it's most of it is there. So this is the gearbox I need to remove. The cap is just behind this. There's a pin there, it's buried under the pan. And now I need to remove this support in order to pull out the shaft a little bit. But before that, I have to pull the shaft this way, and you see there's not enough room with that front end loader attachment. So I've learned over time that trying to keep stuff in position to avoid some dismantling of other parts and messing with some bolts, and also I have this access, reduced access. So I'm going to remove this simply. I was looking to remove those bolts at the bottom. There's a plate like this on each side, but I'm going to go with these one, even if this is heavier stuff to remove. Seems to be balanced. Yeah, perfect. Couldn't more. Oh, look at the spacers. So nice. Oh, there's a key. Yeah, that's the key. Maybe that is making it difficult. So after a long time and many batteries on the camera, and the only thing I had is that shaft in the middle sticking out a little bit inside of this U-joint, and I use, sorry about this, those plates I used a long time ago to split rocks. So that's the only thing I could think that could work. And I'm pushing against this U-joint. That's really not good, but at this point I'm just at the point where I can scrap this U-joint to get this out. So like I said, I know that I could maybe scrap this U-joint, but I can find a new joint. Okay. Came out a little bit more. Now I can stack as a gun. Good. So this is the shaft that comes out from the front end for the shaft. So this is the top assembly. Got one trick from Roger from Tractor Tech. If you don't want to see something popping up when it's not expected, just leave the screw a few turns. Good. So there's some oil in there. Oh, yeah. There's still oil in there? Yeah. So here is the situation. I got a plug at the bottom, but as you can see, it needs 5/16 of an inch, and I use to make one out of this socket extension, and it's about to break. So I continue to empty this manually. So as you can see, there's 3 knobs, let's say so, and one. This thing is to push this thing up against the screw. So this screw is going to take this one, and this one. So those one are turning. They're turning. This one is not turning. And I see there's a small flat spot on it. So you can see there's the flat spot there because it was always working at the same place, and this one, so opposite direction. So this is where the pin sticks into the worm gear, and this is the flat spot contributing to have a gap. So I'm going to install them with the wear opposite direction. And anyways, if I can do 50 more years like this, I would be glad. So I masked this opening because I don't want any dirt going inside this. This is where the worm screw is and the thrust bearing. Now I cleaned that. There was a lot of rust there, but I'm happy that it seems to be sound material. So this seemed to be a locking collar. This is it. This is kind of a gap. What is this? Oh, nice. That was a bearing. What I'm doing now is to stick those balls in grease. So that's tricky because they have to go through inside. Oops. So that's good news because I fit all the balls and I seem to get the wall. Oh, what is this? Contamination. I've been able to put all the balls around. This is kind of a snap ring, but I don't see any groove. I'm going to try to fit it inside. There's a felt inside, and I guess this is to have some kind of smooth surface on which the felt can slide. But this small ring is really damaged. I'll try to make my best. It's not too bad like this. So I have to compress this like this and tighten this here. And it should do it. Seems way much better than what I get in the first time, but I put some more grease behind this. So I suspect this gasket to be leaking. Oh, this is shim gaskets. There's not much I can do with that. It's all shims. Maybe a bit like this. With thick oil, it should not leak. Okay, should be ready to be assembled, but first I give it a shot of paint. Next part is to make gasket for this surface. This is the old gasket. Needs to be a really good gasket because the oil level is above this gasket. So one other point is that I have to get about the same thickness because inside this there's a worm screw that engage on the other part, and the spacing in between the part will have some effect in the play into that steering box. So first thing is to clean that up. I will not need that anymore to protect the inside component from contamination. Okay, the inside diameter, let's say so, is 7 inches, and the width of the gasket needs to be 1.8, which makes sense that the outside diameter would be 9.25. Seems good. Okay, I have to check this one, make sure that I get the proper adjustment. So there's something, there's a bolt beneath pushing this against the worm screw to make sure that there's no play. I just confirmed that it's going to raise when I'm willing to do it. This is the bolt, so you can see there's a flat. This is a slotted stud with a nut. That is exactly why I thought. I'm not going to be able to adjust anything with that because it seems to be stuck. Now there's no way turning this. I'm going to remove it simply. So this is the bolt with the slot, but I'm not able to adjust anything because the knot is... Let's clean that slot first. And small movement. There it goes. So the head of this nut is this stud is pushing against this. This is what I suspect to be a piston with an O-ring. It did not leak up to now, so I won't change anything there. I won't mess there if there's anything wrong with that. So I'm going to put it back. So what I'm left to do is to clean that seat, remove some paint. I will be good to go. Okay. Yeah. So before tightening more, I have to make sure that the pusher is retracted maximum. And at this point, I'm not quite sure I did engage correctly the teeth. Okay, now it's engaged correctly. I go down to 70. Okay, 70 seems good in my opinion. Good. So as you can see, I have a lot of play because I'm loose at this point. But that's where I'm going to screw this until I get, and you see this moving up. Okay, some movement, and I don't get any. So I'm going to tighten this at this point. So I don't want this adjustment to change. Oh. I have minimal play at this point. I feel seems to be good. Okay, one thing done. I'm going to fill that tomorrow. I let it cure. So that's the instruction on the product. You have to let it cure for a few hours. So I'm going to fill it this tomorrow. I just noted that this cap is not only a cap, but there's a breathing hole in it. It was covered with paint and also some dirt, but I was wondering how this case could vent. That's the answer. So I'm going to fill this with the 80-90. Okay, there's at least oil at the half of the screw. I'm good with that. So there's no point adding any kind of Teflon because there's a venting hole anyway. Okay, there's a stopper there. So as you can see, that's a really wide turn. Okay. Perfect. Same on the other side. It's good. As you can see, this is a tight turn. It's more than 45 degrees. Okay, now you get a good view. That's where it stops, because you cannot rely on the tie rod to stop it. And this is the stopper on the other side that stops the whole thing. I'm going to match them so that the hole will match the middle of that groove.